All right, good morning, everyone. Dan here from Tradingology and the trading room for January 28th. As usual, we have our awesome best friend Dave joining us from the Strong Market team. So good morning, Dave, on this, I don't even know what to call it morning. High flying? Halting morning?
The crazy day.
Yeah.
Exciting. I guess you could call it that. I mean, it's just unbelievable all the stuff that's going on. I mean, GME was up yesterday, and then it was down overnight. And then about 5 minutes before the open, it went from 450 to 270. And now it's back up over 400, I think 3 something, I don't know. But it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's an interesting time
Sundial
for sure.
skyrocketed. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's like, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, between, I'll pull over the Sundial chart. Yeah, we were, had a little position in there. We noticed, Josh actually noticed and sent me a note, said, hey, did you see what's going on here? I looked over at it, I'm like, holy cow, it was up like 90 cents last night after trading hours.
Yeah.
And this morning we went up over $1. It looks like, where do we peak at here? I put it on a 1 minute chart because if anybody didn't know, trading was halted 3 times on this today.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got up to $1.36 was the high. So I sold some in between all 3 of the halts. So complete transparency, I'm flat on it and I'm happy. So that was a good day.
Yeah, I'll raise my hand. I'm flat too. Sold I had some remaining. I did sell some a little bit earlier, but I had some remaining. I sold them between 120 and 130.
So I have to thank you for that research, because I definitely piggybacked on your tails there a few weeks ago or a few months ago when we initially entered that one.
Yeah, it's been a good trade. It was a really good trade. Little did I realize at the time, though, I did the research and basically I just looked at the chart. I said, yeah, this thing's going higher. Little did I know that it was one of those heavily shorted stocks.
Yeah, I was looking into that after, if anybody hasn't seen the news yet, everything going on with the Reddit group, Wall Street Bets, and their bet against the hedge people, and anybody that they're short squeezing, they're kind of taking over, and it's a whole new, I don't know what you want to call it, a whole new
Ball game
deal happening, you know?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a different kind of game now. So, yeah, instead of GameStop, it's Game Stock.
Terrence asked the question, how do you find these stocks and any resources that I can take a look at it?
Well, yeah, you just got to keep your eyes open now. I mean, you can go down to Wall Street Bets was closed last night after all this stuff blew up on CNBC yesterday. They shut it down, but you can go to Reddit and you can still, I think you can join now. But so, I mean, they throw out all kinds of stuff, right? The other thing you can do is like, just go to YouTube and just start saying, just putting in, high flying stocks or whatever search term you want to use, or, SPACs or whatever, term you can think of. Stonk, STONK is a big keyword. Wall Street Bets, you can put that into YouTube and you'll have all kinds of different ideas of people who are throwing stuff out. I just watch like CNBC. I watch Benzinga. Benzinga is a good one, but they don't throw out these kind of stocks. They're more value orientated, but every once in a while they do mention the craziness. They have a pre-market open from 8 to 9. That's pretty good.
As far as Sundial too, a lot of that came of, people were looking into cannabis topics, and with the new administration being more lenient and potentially, dropping the criminalization of marijuana, Sundial is a grower stock from Canada, and right after the election you could see volume coming in and people were starting to accumulate that. So that was part of the tip. That's even outside of all this Reddit.
Yeah, that was the reason. That was the reason I got into it, was because hey, I said, look, Biden administration is going to be cannabis friendly. There's a possibility that it could be legalized in the nation, so at the federal level. And if that's the case, Sundial is a Canadian company. But another thing too was one of the news that I saw was the fact that they retired all their debt. They paid off everything. They're a completely debt-free company. I didn't realize that their stock was so heavily shorted, but they were a debt-free company, and that's what attracted it to me in the first place. And then I started paying attention to the volume. The volume really started picking up right around that 50-cent level. I said, this is something I want to get into,
It's one of those things, just like the beaten up stocks, if you've heard Dave or I talk about it, that started in the wealth masterclass, which you guys that are in there, remember we do have a session this afternoon. It's exactly that, where you look for the stocks that are undervalued or underpriced because of where they are. You look at this thing as the exact fits the bill. It was way up. Now it's been beaten up. As Dave said, it's got good fundamentals. And then here comes a jump. Yeah, it might keep going up. I'm personally not gonna be over greedy. I'm perfectly fine with selling mine over $1.
Yeah, I mean, I got in around 50 cents, so I'm happy with. I trimmed a little bit around 71 cents, and then I took the rest off this morning. So I'm happy.
Yeah, you caught this double top, which I missed. So it's a good idea to jump out then and cash your profits in. And I missed it. So I was like, oh, I'm in for the longer ride. So I took my opportunity today. So
Well, as I told you in the chat, I had my chart set up to buy back at 55 cents yesterday.
yeah, right at that gap.
Yeah, it was perfect. I was going to buy it at 55 cents. It was like I had my chart set up. I had my support and resistance line set up. I had everything set up. I looked at it yesterday and I said, I got time. Big mistake. Big mistake.
In case anybody's curious, these are gap lines that I had drawn just because I was curious, because as it was coming down, I'm like, well, maybe it'll fill this gap and then take back off.
That's what I was looking at.
That's exactly. I was like, either that or it's going to come down and fill this gap. That was the question. It's like, okay, where will it go? And I think part of the whole current events is happening. This could be part of the Wall Street Bets people doing it early. I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody picked up on it because I saw something about somebody saying there's a big short interest in this SNDL, and they were going after it, I think.
So yeah, either way, whether it was people helping or not, which I think it's a good thing, because why should, especially when you think about GameStop, they were coming up, from what I've read so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, but or if you know different, is the company was actually doing well. They had this big plan to move forward. They were profitable. I shouldn't say profitable. They were moving in the right direction. Then all of a sudden, this hedge fund wants to short them for whatever reason, and it's like people are like, no, let's stick it to the man. Is basically what they said.
Yeah, Melvin Capital, boy, they stuck it to him by $9.7 billion.
Yeah, I saw CNBC must have been other funds that were in there, because they're like, yeah, they're out 14 billion. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the hedge funds, it's stupid, because GameStop was under $5 at one point.
Yep.
And why would you want to short a stock that's under $5?
Yeah, there's no room. Where's the profit zone there? $5 to 0 or 1? What are you going to do to the company?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. So a hedge fund got caught off guard, and too bad.
The best meme I saw was the Terminator showing the population, or whatever they called them, with stimmy checks, and the hedge funds hiding underneath the desk. I'll have to see if I can find it and show you. That's a good one. Andre's asking about the current VXX trade. Just looking at VXX, Andre, at this point, if you didn't.
Before we get to that, though, I got two stocks for you. And this is nothing to do with Wall Street Bets. These are ones that I've researched. KSHB. I think I might have mentioned it before, but I've been keeping an eye on it. And it's pulled back a little bit from about $1.96. I got interested in it when it was down around 80 cents.
Who'd you say?
KSHB.
Oh, B.
B as in boy. And I looked into these guys, and what they do is they're not a marijuana grower, cannabis. They have nothing to do with what they do is package. They do create packaging. So they're kind of like the guys who do the, if you have a jar container that you need to put cannabis in, some buds or something that you're going to sell in a store, retail store, they do the vapes. So they do vape cannabis things. So they're the container company. They create all the containers to, from everything from, selling the buds in retail stores, premium packaging, all kinds of stuff like that. So they're not in cannabis directly, but they're the packagers. And so I started looking then at 80 cents. I don't know if they have any more legs here. I don't know if they can go up anymore, but I like the pullback I've seen over the last few days. And, I think it might have some potential here. This could be an interesting buy point. So I might, just as a way of disclosure, I don't have any right now, but I'm thinking about picking up some today. The other one is a company called DPWW. This is a really, really long shot. Oh my gosh, this is such a long shot. It's unbelievable. But what they do is they are a premium cannabis seller, but they also have an interesting business model. Yeah, they were way up there for a while. I mean, yeah, you can keep scrolling because I think they were up to around $20 or so. No, more than that.
60s.
60s, yeah, when they first got listed. The problem is they've been constrained because they're only in Colorado. They're a Nevada company, but they're only operating in Colorado. But if they have a couple of interesting businesses, they are growers of premium cannabis, but they also have this interesting business model where they will build out a premium retail location for you. So let's say you're in a state that has, that allows the recreational use of cannabis. They will come out and build a beautiful store. And if you go look up their website, they have videos and they have pictures of the stores that they build out. These places are amazing. They are incredible. And they won an award. They got the most prestigious cannabis award that I guess, I don't know, I don't know anything about the history of the award, but according to the website that gives them out, yeah, that's the store. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
Wow.
They're really, really beautiful stores. These are high-end. This is high-end premium cannabis. They grow it and they package it and they build out the stores. And so if cannabis becomes legalized nationwide, these guys can go build out stores and they supply the product to the stores. So it's like a franchise model, just like Subway. We'll build out the store for you and we'll supply you with all the product.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so these guys, I mean, I think, what are they selling for? 20 cents? 10 cents?
Like 2 cents.
2 cents? Yeah, they're selling for 2 cents. Just a way of disclosure, I did buy it at 1.3 cents. So anyway, I do have an interest in it, but I mean, that's a longer term kind of deal. I think if we do get some national cannabis regulations easing, these guys could expand nationwide.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that one.
Those are my 2 watches for the day.
Well, we liked your first watch, so thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll touch on Andre's question quick here on the VXX trade. I would say, looking at the spike, Andre, you're going to be waiting for a little bit. I know Dave wasn't with us during the call yesterday. I don't know if you got a chance to review it or not. We could always do things just in the VXX Slack channel if you wanted to for any additional add-ons to it. But and Terrence, I should mention Terrence was talking about, yeah, once it hits the news, yeah, it is typically too late. Just like you wouldn't be buying GameStop today, right? Even though I took a peek in their channel yesterday and they're talking about trying to pump it to 1,000 by Friday. I think they might meet reality before that happens. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just like, pumping up XRP thinking it's going to hit $100. GameStop, hitting 1,000.
GameStop's at 333 right now and a green candle, so we'll see.
Big one. They hit some resistance up around $500, close to 500.
Oh, Andre says he's talking about the previous week. I'm probably in about the same boat. That's the one that we closed on Tuesday as it got within 1 cent of the profit potential. So I closed that one out. You're probably in the same boat as, both trades are probably in the same boat where you're going to have to ride for a little bit. That's the nice thing about having 30 days is sometimes we do close them quick. Sometimes they're a few weeks. So you still have time on that one.
We've been waiting for a pop in volatility because of all the election stuff. And then all of a sudden it comes after the election and after everything that happens, it's like,
right.
Of course, of course.
It was just late.
Yeah, it's just delayed, I guess. And the VXX, interestingly enough, is not down very much today. It's only down 1.7%, and the markets are up 1.5%. So
Yeah, so I have a feeling just personally that they're just taking their time pulling it out. That's actually dropping right now as we watch it.
yeah, and we'll see.
As long as we stay, that might be because we're starting to turn on the internals. And Andre did mention, and I will send you some info on the sidelines, Andre, about this. But if anybody else has any questions, there are trading room videos where we covered all these internals. This is another day where we're massive separation
Look at that.
between the internals and the volume, just like yesterday.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yesterday was ridiculous. Today's just as ridiculous. So I don't expect this high to last very often or very long.
Yeah, I don't know which way the market's going to go, but yesterday the spreadsheet indicated that the price anomaly was 536. Well, we hit 521. From what I saw, it might have gone higher on the Dow this morning. You don't get any better than that. I've seen that happen so many times with the spreadsheet that the PA, if it's high enough, will hit that number. Oh, you got 533. You must have gotten different numbers.
A little bit later reading than you, I think.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, 533, and we hit 521 this morning. I've seen that happen so many times. It's unbelievable. There's not another service out there anywhere that will have the ability to predict the price in the gains of the next day or the loss of the next day. That price anomaly is just absolutely golden. I really do pay attention to it a lot.
3,000 AVS. That's crazy.
And look at going back. I mean, we have been up and we have been down, and it's been above since the beginning of the year at 1,500. And then before, then last year too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just from October. And we were up going into January. And so to me, that looks like distribution. That looks like distribution of shares of stock. So I'm anticipating that we're going to have higher volatility. Now in the VXX trade, we do have one extra call in there. So, if it does skyrocket, we have one extra call. And if you have a profit on that strategy, if we do have VXX just jump to like 30 or 40, you'll have a little bit of a profit, not much, but a little bit, and you want to get out.
So there you go on that one, Andre. You got Dave's good info there. Perfect. Terrence is asking about the original ES strategy. It seems that everyone has moved to the newer one. They both still work. We had a few people comment, or at least one I saw comment in the channels that he had traded the same one. I forget what day it was yesterday. Yeah, they're both still valid. It just depends on whichever one you're more comfortable with. That's kind of the bulk of what I've done and tailored on to what Dave has done, is showing you different strategies that work and use whichever one suits your trading style the best and which one you'd like to leverage. He says he had success with it today. Awesome.
Good. Awesome. Yeah.
The one thing I will note, whatever strategy you're using, I'm personally only doing longs. You're going to get burned if you're trying to short this market. Be careful.
Yeah, and the volatility is really high right now, so we just added some extra caution there.
So yeah, even though we're set up for a drop, I'm personally not trying to time that drop. Yeah, it'd be great to hold on to that, but that's like go buy another lottery ticket, because that could happen at any time on the whim of this market. It's much safer, in my opinion, to trade long setups than short setups. Just my personal opinion, but I wanted to share that. I'm glad you had success with it, Terrence, so that's good to know. I'm glad that's helping you and you liked it. And we got a good bunch in here today. You can tell the market's hopping. Whenever we start getting big activity, we get a lot of people turning out. So I appreciate you guys showing up with us. And let us keep the questions coming, whatever you guys got. Let us know. We got about 5 to 10 minutes left here. Then we'll wrap up the week. And
yeah, and don't forget 1 o'clock today, we've got the Wealth Masterclass. So we're going to go over some macro stuff in there. We'll pick up where we left off. And that's going to be, I mean, if for you guys who are like trying to figure out what's going on in the market, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the new administration, what's going to be, what could we see coming down the road this year? Not short-term stuff, but macro. So, longer-term stuff. We're going to cover all that today.
Looking forward to it for sure. And 1 o'clock Eastern, if anybody was curious what time zone he's talking about. So you should all have an email that were wealth members. Again, I'll let you know if you didn't. Let me know and we'll check out why you didn't get that, or check your spam or junk folder. That is where a few of them have been going, because email providers are fun. Let's take a look at the index one. I hadn't looked. What are we at? 500 points on the Dow now, as you mentioned, just like the PA was predicting. NDX is up 173. SPX is up 57. Oh, look at this. It's changed since we started today.
Yeah, it was up. I was watching the SD this morning. It was up 30, holding at 30 like for a long time at the open. Now we're down a little bit.
Now we're negative. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dropped down to negative 43. Now we're holding at negative 10 or so.
Yeah, it was holding up around plus 30 for a really long time, and so was the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I took a look at that. I was very surprised because it popped. It started at 150. It's like, yep, that's going up. Now it's taken a dive since we started the call. And interesting how these setups do work, right? Look at NDX hitting right on that SR line. Very commonly that those work out perfectly as resistance. Herding turning over, taking a quick peek there. Oh, I didn't even look today. I was so busy with Sundial. Where did our report come out on the calendar? What did we say for unemployment today? 847,000 more.
That was today. Nobody even paid attention to that with all the stuff going on, right?
Right. I completely
847. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
They're predicting 914, but it's green at 847. Another ridiculous number in my book.
Yeah, good number, huh? 847,000 people unemployed first time.
Wow. Andre's asking about UUP. That's the nice thing about the UUP trade, Andre. That one's good for another year.
Yeah, we're good for a year actually.
I'm not doing anything with that. It's just sitting there cooking.
Yep.
So that's one of those A trades. If I don't even watch it for a day or two, it's okay, because you're not going to miss any big move. So you're safe there. You got it.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that in the Wealth Masterclass today too.
Perfect.
I'm going to talk about the dollar index anyway, DXY.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that again today. Sundial's taking all my attention this morning.
Yeah. Well, it should have, because it was a big move.
Yep, you got to react when you need to. All right, with that, we'll probably get her close to wrapping up for the week. Appreciate you guys all coming out as always. You know how to get a hold of us. Any final questions? Or we will just re-wrap and see you guys that are wealth members this afternoon in a few hours.
Yeah, just be careful out there. Don't get sucked into too many of these Wall Street bets stocks. Just kind of do your own analysis and take a look at the charts and see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if KSHB gets on their radar and they start pumping that thing up too. So I might get into it today. Like I said, I don't have any right now. DPWW is a little bit longer term for me, but if anything else comes up, I'll definitely let you guys know in the chat rooms. I just don't think that we'll get into it with the Wealth Masterclass, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the markets. And I think that I just feel like this shift is coming, like this, like the tectonic plates are just like, they're just kind of rubbing together here, and they're starting to move. So it could be an exciting year.
Yep. So if you're just starting to keep paper trading that target hunter system, target hunter strategy, that's working fantastic on a daily return. Again, look at the long setups versus the short ones. If you're not in there, take a look. It's at Target Hunter Strategy, or THS.tradingology.com. You can jump in there. Gold members already have access. And then, so the combination of the Target Hunter, MES Masterclass, they're all fantastic trading for futures strategies. VXX for options. It's the 1, 2, 3 punch. And then, leveraging Dave's knowledge in the Wealth Masterclass for beating up stocks. One surely paid off today. So got the whole package going for you. If you guys need anything else, let us know. We're working on it. And with that, we'll probably call it for this week. And one last thank you. And you're welcome, Andre. We're happy to help.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. We'll have a great weekend. And for those in the Wealth Masterclass, we'll see you this afternoon. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you on Tuesday next week.
You got it. Take it easy, guys.
Take care. Bye.